Hi there. This is Shauna LaRue Marai from ICF. We're HUD's technical assistance provider, delivering this conference for you today. We are so excited to be with you, and this is going to be an amazing week with you all. So we just wanted to make sure that you're aware that we have ASL interpreters here. We also have our Zoom platform that is something that we're using. Most folks are used to Zoom, but we are going to, for this session, use the chat feature if you have any technical issues. Then later you'll hear from my colleague Taylor Edwards about Six Connect and how that questions box may also be used. But let's just go ahead and get kicked off. We do have Mentimeter, and that is something that we would like to make sure that we know who's in the audience. And we want to find out first where you're located and then your agency. This is a database that is behind our system here, and it just gets us, in a place where we get to know you. So I'll go ahead and put in the link here. You can go to menti.com and use 2866 1455, my apologies. And we want to make sure that you can let us know, everything about you. You can also use this QR code just so you can get in more quickly. You can put your phone up to that if you like to use your phone. You can also use a separate browser, but I went ahead and posted the link, so you should be able to access it now. And there is a comma, sorry about that, in that menti.com. So it's just use that link. That would be better. Okay, it looks like we have our audience. So let's go ahead and find out where folks are located, Taylor. So this is a new feature that we thought we'd find out where you are on the map of the United States. So it's not approximate, but I thought this would be a great way for David Berenbaum and Julia Gordon to find out where folks are located. And we wanted to make sure that we've got good representation across the United States and across our entire country. So let us know where you're based, and we'll see how the results come in. You folks are really quick. Lots of folks on the East Coast, in the middle where I'm based in Columbus, Ohio, but we're also going to see some West Coast folks come in, I'm sure. And the number just keeps getting bigger and bigger for the concentration. So yes, this is an amazing start for you to pin yourself and let us know where you're based. Love seeing folks in Guam, in Puerto Rico. Thank you so much. And possibly somebody that's on Vieques, it looks like, unless you're also trying to land on the island of Puerto Rico. So lots of great representation. Okay. And folks chatting in, you can certainly chat in with us, but if you'd like to join the database, we can track that a little bit easier if you can put it in there. But great to have you from Virginia, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania in the chat. So let's go ahead and find out what type of agency we have today. This conference is open to local housing counseling agencies, state housing finance agencies, HUD partners, etc. So go ahead and provide that, please. We also have affiliates of HUD intermediaries. We have advocacy organizations too that are represented. Okay. All right. So looks like we have a lot of representation, lots of housing counseling agencies who are locals. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and show the next question that's all about what are you looking forward to participating at the conference. And we're going to move back to our PowerPoint presentation. Go ahead and give us all the information on Mentimeter. It'll be open so that we're figuring out what you're most interested in. But I'm going to turn over to David Berenbaum, the Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Office of Housing Counseling, to kick us off this week. David?
Shauna, thank you. And wow, looking at the results, I think people are interested in all of the content at this year's 2023 Community Conference. And hello and welcome to everyone. We are really excited that you've joined 1,500 of your colleagues for this interactive and I hope very informative program, which will feature sessions on how you as counselors can advance homeownership, celebrate housing equity, help elders to age in place, enjoy sustainable housing, and of course, recognizing the impact of recent events, both in Hawaii and Florida, how we all can double down on our efforts to prepare and expand our capacity to help residents recover from natural and other related disasters. This year, the conference brings together, as you heard, housing counseling agencies, state housing finance agencies, intermediaries, and industry partners and stakeholders for 3 days of conversation and discussion on the critical role that homeownership education and overall all housing counseling plays in our real estate and housing finance marketplace. The next 3 days will be rich with content about industry trends and data. In fact, that's our next session. And also include information about new mortgage products, housing finance, higher education partnerships, disaster response initiatives, workforce development best practices, emerging strategies, and of course, engaging with a large number of HUD offices, such as single-family housing, field policy and management. And we're going to be talking about these innovative strategies and partnerships that are really going to enhance our ability to reach more consumers, including our big, hairy, audacious goal of reaching more than 3 million households a year within the next 5 years, and so much more. I'm really delighted, and it's my honor now to introduce and welcome Julia Gordon, who serves as the Assistant Secretary for Housing and Federal Housing Commissioner at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, to kick off our community conference. Of course, Julia's focus, as you all know, has been on really building powerful partnerships between the Office of Housing Counselor and all of you with every aspect of, in fact, all of our work at HUD to expand access to homeownership, as well as to ensure that every American has an affordable place to live. But please, let me allow her to take it from here. Julia?
Thank you so much, David, for that introduction. And I have to say, it's great to see how many people are attending already today. Wow, the numbers are just way beyond what I expected. And it was exciting to see the geographic distribution and what everybody's interested in. And it would be fun to stay all day and play with Menti because that seems really fun. But I do want to start off at the top just by saying the work that all of you do is absolutely central to our departments and offices' mission to help people access affordable housing and home ownership. You're the ones who bridge that knowledge gap and help people understand their financial situation and what their future can look like. I know that you play a pivotal role in helping people with their housing needs, you know, whether they're renting or looking to buy a home, or whether they're looking to maintain home ownership when the going gets rough. You know, in short, what you do is to change lives. And that's a really powerful and important function, not just for our office and for HUD, but for the entire country and for our economy. The 1 million plus individuals and families who you counsel each year rely on you for that pre-purchase counseling, post-purchase counseling, rental counseling, and all of the other things that you do that go into achieving and sustaining housing security. So David mentioned the big, hairy, audacious goal, which I love to call that. And while it is big, hairy, and audacious to have a goal of serving 3 million households a year within 5 years, I think with this team and with the housing leaders on this call today, I think it's attainable, and I'm really, really excited about it. Now, part of my confidence stems from having known Deputy Assistant Secretary David Birnbaum for a really long time. And I know that he is a persistent and effective and very vocal advocate for the power of housing counseling. And he does that both inside HUD and, of course, externally. and has been doing it for decades. So the excellent work of this office and of all of you who are connected to our office, all of our partners, has enabled a number of really impressive achievements, from the house parties that have been going around the country, the innovative housing showcase on the National Mall each year, which is really a highlight to get to see our work come to life, just right there where you can see the Washington Monument and the Capitol. The HBCU Partnership Initiative, which, here in DC, where we have some very strong HBCUs, it's especially exciting. The work you do to support overall the HUD strategic plan, and something that's close to my heart, which is helping with the work we do on fair housing and appraisal bias. And I especially want to mention something that has it made me so excited this year, which is the groundbreaking Let's Make Home the Goal campaign. This campaign so far appears to be one of the most impactful and well received engagements we've had. That's kind of what people call direct to consumer, and it's making a big impact everywhere I go. I'm really excited about it. Now let's go from some of the happier stuff to talk some real talk about what it's like to work in the housing space right now. I don't have to tell anybody on this call that housing affordability and housing supply are both at their lowest point in a long, long, long time. Mortgage rates have more than doubled in the last couple of years. Home prices have yet continued to rise. A household needs to earn almost $20,000 more than last year to afford a median priced home. And we need not just thousands, but millions more homes to come online in order to keep up with demand. It is tough times. And those of you on this call represent the front lines in navigating through this extremely challenging period. But I'm excited that we are all pulling together to try to make things easier for people, both in the immediate term and also laying the foundation, for advances in the future. And so I hope you'll indulge me while I take a couple of minutes to talk about some of what we've done here in the Office of Housing and some of what we plan to do that hopefully you can get excited about along with us, and things that you can bring to your clients and to your communities as we go forward. So in terms of what we've done, I am particularly excited about our work last year to reduce the price of our annual mortgage insurance premium. We dropped that premium by 30 basis points, which might sound small, but saves the average FHA borrower about $800 for one of our average size homes just in the first year of their mortgage. It not only helps keep money in people's wallets so they can pay for other things that they need, but what I hear everywhere I go from mortgage professionals is reducing that cost has helped people who were just trying to get over that line of achieving home ownership, to make it over the line, to get that, accept, and to go ahead and buy their home. So that makes me feel so good that we were able to help in that way. We have done a number of other things that we know are making a difference. We've changed how we consider student debt in the underwriting process so that we're really looking at your actual debt, not just some number picked out by a computer. We found a way in our systems to provide potential homeowners with credit for a positive rental history, because we know if you've been paying your rent, that is a positive sign that you'll be able to pay your mortgage. And we have also worked diligently. I can't tell you how hard the team has worked to help get people through the pandemic without losing their homes. Honestly, this is one of the most successful efforts I've ever seen government engage in. The COVID forbearances and then the COVID loss mitigation waterfall and waivers got us through really one of the scariest periods most of us have ever been through, with remarkably few people losing their homes. And we're hoping to keep it that way going forward. So that's just a few of the things that are now in the rearview mirror. So what's coming up? Well, there's a few things I think you might be interested in that achieve both of our goals of helping people get into homeownership, build wealth, and also to increase the supply of housing. We're about to release a new policy regarding accessory dwelling units, which some people call ADUs, where we're going to allow the current rent, if that unit is already leased up, or the future rent potential to be calculated into the income part of the underwriting process. And that's just such an exciting opportunity. We know that many people, many first-time homeowners, many immigrants who purchase homes that also have a rental unit have used those very successfully to build wealth while creating additional affordable housing for others. In the spirit of looking at all of these sort of new alternatives that we're focusing on, I want to talk for a minute about manufactured housing. Manufactured housing today does not look like the trailers from many years ago. This housing type is now extremely modern, livable, and attractive to many families. And it's a way we can really help address the affordability and supply crisis. And also, a lot of manufactured homes are extremely energy efficient, both in terms of the manufacturing of them and in terms of the operation of the home itself. Not only is our manufactured housing team working to update the HUD building and construction codes so that the manufactured homes can meet the demands of today's customer, but our single family team is making it easier to finance those homes and also to finance the communities in which many of those homes are located. So we're really excited about that work. Moving on to some other things we're doing that we think will help both homeowners and housing supply is we want to help people renovate homes that require updating and rehab. We know that half of our housing stock at this point is over 50 years old. And as someone who is also over 50 years old, I can say that at this age, we need a little more upkeep than we used to. And that's true of housing too. And you want housing to be able to get that upkeep so that we don't lose more units and have even more of a housing supply problem than we already do. So the single family team is working now on updating and enhancing our renovation loan program, which is called the 203K program. I wish it had a more exciting name. We like to call things here at HUD after the section of the statute that authorizes them. I think we may need the Let's Make Home a Goal team to help us rename all of our products. But we're really excited about this effort and hope it means many more people can do the rehabilitation they need to their homes. And that might include adding an ADU. That might include updating a home so somebody can age in place safely. There are lots of things that can be done with this product. To talk for a minute about rental housing, something I'm extremely excited about because we just launched it, is the Green and Resilient Retrofit Program, which we call GRRP. Also an area where maybe we could have used a branding executive. But that program was funded with $1 billion from the Inflation Reduction Act. And what it does is it is used to help improve both energy efficiency and resilience for the assisted rental properties in our portfolio. And the reason that's so noteworthy is, a lot of energy and climate related work goes first to the wealthier communities. We know that lower income communities, communities of color, often suffer most from climate change, from environmental degradation. And in this case, this program actually directs the money first to our lowest income renters. And that's really exciting. That feels like environmental justice. And it feels like it really helps the people and communities that need it the most. We'll be making an announcement very soon about the first grants that we're making under that program. So I'm gonna wrap up in a sec. Don't want to take too much of your time, but once again, I just want to tell you how grateful I am for your partnership, the central role you play in letting everybody know about what the opportunities are for them, both related to HUD and related to so many other opportunities, whether they are federal or state or local opportunities. We know it's going to be a very busy fall for our housing counseling program. We awarded more than $14.4 million in housing counseling grants in June. We hosted the Housing Counseling Federal Advisory Committee with a newly reinvigorated committee. And something I'm really excited about that we just did was publish a newly updated housing counseling handbook for the first time in 10 years. Getting those handbooks over the finish line is not for the faint of heart. And I really want to thank David and his team for all the hard work they did to get that handbook to my desk. We're actually hoping to publish another handbook later this month, which is the HECM section of the single family handbook. That hasn't had an update in even longer than housing counseling. And something else we're looking forward to is potentially developing some new loss mitigation products that will help borrowers navigate this difficult time when some of our existing products aren't working so well because of the interest rate environment. So, again, thank you. Oh, I want to harken back to something David said in his introduction. I really want to recognize the truly heroic work being done by housing counselors in areas experiencing natural disasters and really unimaginable human tragedy. With the boots on the ground people in places like Maui and Florida and California, you make a difference when people are experiencing what is probably the worst day of their lives and the worst experience of their lives. I have not had the opportunity to go to Maui yet, but the photos I'm seeing and the stories I'm hearing from people on the ground, it is unimaginable. And I'm so grateful that HUD is able to play a constructive role and help people at this very difficult time. We know that climate change and its effects are only going to get more acute in not just the coming years, but honestly, the coming months and weeks. We're seeing it really every week somewhere now. And, this is an issue that is front and center for every part of this administration and for all of the governmental agencies, and especially for HUD. So again, thank you so much for everything you do, and I'll pass it back to David.
Julia, thank you so much. And we really appreciate everything you're doing within FHA and the Office of Housing for us to forge a stronger, more prosperous, and more equitable future for everyone in our nation. Just a quick follow-up question, though, if I may. I believe just the past few days, HUD made an announcement to sort of reduce some red tape associated with the FHA mortgage program to make it more accessible. And of course, 80% of FHA consumers are first-time homebuyers. Could you just share what that announcement means so that our housing counselors have a better understanding of it?
Sure. This is an example of something we've been trying to do in the past couple of years, which is looking across our program and trying to find where are those little obstacles, those little tripwires that are hurting potential homeowners, but really don't need to be there. And can we try to clean those kinds of obstacles up? And something we did last week was some of you who do pre-purchase counseling may be aware that when a borrower goes to a lender and is rejected for a loan, and it may be because they might qualify under FHA's core credit requirements, but maybe that lender has some overlays. Our system has had a flag where the lender has to flag that they, rejected this applicant, and that has made other lenders hesitant to lend to that borrower, even if that borrower does qualify through their program. And we went to our risk team and we said, is this a useful risk management tool? Because of course we always want to make sure we're managing risk responsibly. And they said, as a matter of fact, no, it really isn't contributing to risk management. And we don't find it super useful from our perspective. And so we thought, well, this is something that we can make not a problem for borrowers just by waiving the requirement that we use that flag. And to me, this is part and parcel of something that but that as a consumer advocate, I'm always trying to remind potential homeowners about, which is you always want to shop for your mortgage. You should look at more than one lender. You should get more than one estimate. And that is now really supported by us changing this program. Again, this is kind of like a tiny little system change that we hope will once again be helpful to get as many folks as possible into homeownership when they qualify for it.
Thank you so much, Julia. We all appreciate your knowledge and your leadership in this space. So we're running a little long on this opening session, but forgive me, I have a little bit more information that I'd like to share with you before we conclude. Many of you have heard me speak recently, know that I've been using the theme, and I truly believe that the time is now for us to elevate the profession. Our work is about people and it's about places. And when I'm speaking with housing counselors across the country, I know all of you feel the energy and the opportunities to implement new partnerships and initiatives. Julia's already noted some of the significant milestones this year, the launch of what we hope will be a 5-year Let's Make the Home the Goal national awareness campaign, new branding and logos for HUD-approved housing counseling agencies and our HUD-certified counselors to use on websites, business cards, and marketing materials, social media, and more. And you may remember that last year at this conference, we announced HUD Certified Proud, the hashtag for your use. Well, building on the success of that initiative, this year, the Office of Housing Counseling has something for you. In fact, when you take advantage of 6 Connects, we have new backgrounds for all certified housing counselor to use on both Teams and Zoom. They're available in 3 styles, yes, urban, rural, and suburban. And in fact, we hope that you'll get a lot of great use out of them and celebrate your role as housing counseling professionals, HUD certified housing counseling professionals. And I could go on and on. The release last week of the new HUD Office of Housing Counseling Program Handbook was very, very important. I want to share with you that hold the date, please, on October the 19th, there will be our first in a series of educational workshops, webinars for you to enjoy that will really review at a very high level and a very insightful level the changes between the decade-old handbook and the new one, which is streamlined and clean and really reflects today's practice of housing counseling. And as well, we're going to be making some announcements. We're going to have a very interactive landing page for your use. We're going to have a resource library. And this crosswalk, looking at the changes in the manual, we think everyone will find to be very, very helpful. I'm very proud of all of the members of our Housing Counseling Federal Advisory Committee. The group has been meeting an unprecedented 4 times a year. And our next meeting, the end of this month, which will be a virtual meeting, will be focused on the issue of homelessness and how we can expand the capacity of housing counseling groups to be part of the safety net to avoid homelessness, eviction prevention, as well as to assist with other agencies in rehousing and related support, for example, under continuum of care. And then I know many of you have already participated in the first 2 of 8 regional meetings that we've been hosting across the country. The feedback has been very positive, and we look forward to, in fact, coming to Atlanta and other cities as we move forward, Houston and elsewhere across the country as we move forward to do these wonderful, wonderful programs. Rulemaking is very active. Tribal rulemaking, we just completed our consultation, and you can look forward to a final rule being issued in the near future. And as well, we appreciate all the feedback that we have received on housing counseling modernization. And you can expect to see a proposed rule that will be looking at the delivery of services as well, which incorporates face-to-face, virtual, telephonic, and hybrid services in the near future. And of course, we are very focused on building our grant programs so that you can expand your capacity and focus in areas of housing equity, including the HBCU MSI Partnership Initiative and our recently announced Homeownership Initiative. Wow, we're truly positioned to make home the goal. Now, what I'd like to do is just point out as well, Shauna, if you wouldn't mind, we have the full agenda available for your review. Take a look at it. It will be in the text box. And as well, this week, we have an amazing number of sessions, 17 in fact, which will focus on realizing core strategic plan goals, both for our office and all of your mission statements and work. There are a number of concurrent sessions this year, but don't worry. You know, I know that you'll have an opportunity to view them at your leisure after the fact, and we are going to be taping this session so that you can also watch the content on demand. But the big change this year is 6 Connects. And I want to turn things over to our colleague to talk a little bit about 6 Connects so that you understand how the program works. Take advantage of it. I hope that you'll really have some great virtual discussions with your colleagues who are here networking during the conference, and hopefully also sharing great ideas so we can do our work. So let me turn it over to Taylor.
Thanks, David. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the conference today. As David mentioned, my name is Taylor Edwards, and I'm with ICF. And I will run through a quick demo of how you all can utilize 6 Connects for this week's conference. So if you'll see on the screen here, this is what the 6 Connects platform looks like. If you'll check your email inboxes, you should have received a link from the trainings team from the HUD Exchange, and this will give you a link to 6 Connects. Once you access that link, you can simply insert your first and last name, and then you will also be asked to insert your email so that you can access this page. Once you put in that information, you'll be brought to 6 Connects here. You can click right here. It says the HUD Office of Housing Counseling 2023 Community Conference. Once you get to this page, it is very important that you see this enter event button. Once you press this button, you'll have access to all of the networking David mentioned, all the materials, sessions, and other things that Six Connects can offer this year. So as you see right now, we're in the lobby. The lobby of this event will give you a quick snapshot of everything going on at the moment. So you have your event description. You have all the upcoming live events that Six Connect has and that the conference has to offer. So you'll see here, we have our discussion boards. Some sessions do have discussion boards where you can further the conversation about the topic being discussed and maybe network, create some connections, share some resources that you think might be helpful, and just get more involved. Here we have our welcome board. So I'll go ahead and kind of show you what a discussion board looks like. If you haven't already jumped into this welcome board, we encourage you to do so. What it'll look like is it'll have a quick instructions on how you can engage. So this board is focused on introducing yourself, exchanging contact information, and sharing what you're looking forward to during the conference. So as you can see the whole thread through the group chat on this side. You'll see that lots of people have already jumped in here, and we encourage everyone to do so. We see Jim Gordon, Robert Davis, LaShonda Denson, and more people. If you see something that you either want to, react to, I can create the thumbs up reaction. I can heart it. These are just going to be so that you can engage with the conversation that's going on the right side. You can also type up your own message. So if you have not introduced yourself yet, please go ahead and jump in. I see Angela just jumped in. Go ahead and jump into the Break the Ice welcome board discussion board. Along with this, if you see anybody that you're like, hey, I might want to connect with them, you can definitely click their name. So Angela, I'll click your name here. I can send a message to Angela. I can add a friend. I can add her as a friend, or I can set up a one-on-one meeting. So that's going to be where you can access things in the lobby. Next, I'll kind of show what the live tab has for you all. And that's just going to be all your upcoming events. So whether it's a discussion board or if it's a session, so you'll see Data is Power is next, you'll be able to join live through Six Connects as well. Quickly, I'll go through the schedule and what that looks like. You will see that there are more days on the schedule than there actually are conference days. This is so that we gave everyone an opportunity to engage before the conference, but also after the conference. So if there's something you want to revisit after, Thursday, the last day of the conference, this board will be open for you guys through September 22nd. So no worries in trying to, rush all that information. We will have this accessible for you all through September 22nd. And then last thing I kind of want to cover is the sessions and the discussion boards you can access through Six Connects. So on the sessions tab here, you'll see that you can access all of the sessions. We're in the kickoff session now. So to view details, you can get more information about the session. You can get information about the speakers and the descriptions. So here, if I wanted to view more details on David, I can click this, I can click his icon. You'll see his headshot there, his name, his bio and title. And then a really cool feature here is that you can actually view all the sessions that David is going to be a part of for the entire conference. So if you like hearing from David, which I'm sure you all do, you can definitely click on any other sessions that David will be a part of. Also want to highlight here is on day 2 of our conference, we'll start the day with David's Corner Live. So if you want to jump into the David's Corner 6 Connect board, we'll be taking questions, any topics you want David to cover, and he'll be answering all those questions and addressing your topics on that live session, first thing in the morning tomorrow. Very quickly, back to the schedule. I just wanted to highlight that all your discussion boards are going to be accessible here as well. So I'll scroll down just a bit. So we have that break the ice discussion board. We also have discussion boards for various sessions going on. So if you want to share, like I said, share resources, jump in here, talk more, connect with the speakers, you can definitely do that. And David's discussion board is also on here where you can drop any of those questions or topics that you want him to cover. So I will pass it back to David. And if you have any 6Connect questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A box and we can answer those as they come in.
Thank you so much, Taylor. So some of you will note that there is a change in our agenda tomorrow. Julia Gordon will be joining leadership for an announcement in Maryland. And so at the request of the Secretary's staff, she unfortunately is unable to join us. But many of you know at some of the major conferences across the country, as well as our regional meetings, I've been doing what I've been calling an Ask Me Anything session. So that's what David's Corner tomorrow will be about. I want to invite everyone to use the boards, participate in the chats, and throw questions my way. I'm going to do my very best to respond accurately and candidly to all your questions, which of course is always my joy. So that's how we're going to start the day tomorrow. I'd also like to invite everyone to join me later today. Marietta Rodriguez, CEO of NeighborWorks America, and I are going to announce and engage with all of you on our plans to work with all our stakeholders and partners to update industry best practices, something that has not happened in over a decade as well. And there will be a really interactive and focused discussion during this presentation, with regard to issues that you would like us to look at as we begin this, what will be a 1.5 to 2 year long process. So we have a lot to cover. We have challenges with regard to affordability and availability of units. We have issues of technology. We're going to be touching on so much during this conference. But now we're going to turn to our first general session, which is Data is Power, Understanding the State of the Marketplace. And we have a great expert panel from the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies, from NARAP and NAREB, as well as from a counseling agency, NHS of Baltimore, and of course, our resource, ICF. So everyone enjoy, have a great conference, and please reach out to me on the boards. Take care. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.